Okay. Start video.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you all?
Morning, Monica.
We're fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
We've got Tara here and Fred. No, is it not Fred? Paul popped in and popped out again. So I don't know what's going on.
And Tara's out in the garden again, making us feel jealous.
Yeah, but it's not so warm today.
Oh, what is it, 1920? I gave in. I have this thing that I won't put the heating on until the clocks change, and I gave in last night. It was cold.
Well, yeah, tonight, I might have a fire. We might have actually a log fire this morning tonight. It's getting cold.
It's a bit cloudy today.
Ah,
a bit. It's very here.
You know, it's not too bad. There was a beautiful sunset this morning. I think at Monday they're predicting rain for about a week, and the temperature is really going to drop. So we're in for that.
Good, not good. Right, where am I? Where am I at? Let's get myself sorted. Still waiting for a couple to join before we start properly. I think.
How were you all after yesterday's sessions? Did we scare you?
No, they're all fired up now.
Trying to work on those powerful words.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good.
Just turning up the volume on the words. Absolutely. Margaret is joining us as well, and Jeffrey. Excellent. So we've got enough people.
Just Calvin.
And Calvin will be joining us as well in a minute, I'm sure. Because Beryl will give him a hard time if he doesn't, I think.
Let's hope they've been comparing notes.
Okay, hello everyone. We've got most people here now, which is good. We're gonna go with it. Morning, Margaret. Morning, Jeffrey.
Morning, Jay. Morning, colleagues. Hi.
Hi.
Morning.
Okay. Well, let's start. It's just gone 8 o'clock. In a cloudy UK and a cloudy Nairobi, sorry, here. But anyway, let's head on now. We're almost through. It is now Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. So that's a good feeling. Weekend is just about in sight, but we've got a fair bit of stuff to do before then. More fun and games for everybody. So let's press on. This is session 3. Starting with lesson 3. The tech check. I don't think we need to go through that. I think we're all fairly familiar now with everything. Module objectives.
Sorry, Jen, Margaret, can you still not hear us?
Oh, I didn't see that in chat. Can everybody else hear us?
Okay.
Can hear you.
Margaret, do you want to unplug the earphones and see if you can hear it on the computer? This is where my IT skills are tested. Oh, she's popped off, and then she might come back in. Okay, well, we'll carry on. She can catch up, and also, of course, she can watch the video. The video will be up online later on. That's what we're looking at today: script structures, visual aids. I think creatively. I think creativity. I think is a theme that's coming out. I think being creative, going a bit crazy. Understand and use non-verbal communication, and employ stagecraft for effect. Yeah. We might do stagecraft. We might do it tomorrow or on Friday, depending on how much time we get through today, because there's a fair bit to get through today. hopefully Margaret is now connecting to audio. But that's what we're going through today. Okay. But as we always do at the start of these sessions, we like to have a little recap. There's Margaret. Margaret, can you hear now? Doesn't look like she can.
We
Can
can
we
hear
hear
you
you?
though. Yeah.
We can hear you, Margaret, but she can't hear us. So we can talk to her now. Let's just see.
Where's Calvin? I'll let him in.
Okay. I can't hear at all. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, Margaret, can you remove the unplug thing? You can't hear us. Let's just try. Okay. Okay, she's going to try. She's going to try something. She's going to try something. Thank you, Monica, for that suggestion. That's exactly what I was going to put as well. Okay. Anyway, while Margaret's doing that, as we do, I want to hear one thing from each of you that you learned from lesson 2. There was a lot in lesson 2, so there's no need for you to repeat what others have said. Yeah, there's a lot in lesson 2, and that covers not only the lesson we had, but also we can talk about the one-to-ones. If something came out in the one-to-ones, you think, oh, that was brilliant, then share it with the others. Let's start with I'm going to start with Monica. Monica, just so happens you're at the top of my gallery here. So what do you think?
I am the wait every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's because you joined the meeting early, don't you? You join the meeting early and wait. I think the system goes, oh, well, there you go. Monica's quite important in this meeting and puts you at the top of the gallery every time.
Thank you.
There you go.
That's good. Thank you.
So there you go, Monica. What did you learn from lesson 2?
Okay, well, we learned the linguistic mechanism and behavior techniques, and we talked about 11 of them. And amongst them was how you relay your messages. There are many techniques out of the 11. One of them was by telling stories. So it makes it more interesting for to grab your audience's attention, and the message is relayed quickly and well.
Yeah, absolutely. Stories, always good. Tell me a story, I'm willing to listen. Yeah, and that's not just me, that's anybody. Tell me a good story, and it doesn't matter where I come from, I will want to listen. So it is automatically, you've got the audience on your side going, yeah, I'll give you a bit of time. Stories, very powerful mechanism. Okay, on the gallery, going below Monica, Paul, what did you learn from yesterday?
Thank you, Jem. For me, I learned a lot. And one of my favorite ones was painting a picture. I do this a lot also in my writing, trying to paint a picture. I just didn't know that this was actually a technique. So yeah, as a storyteller, I find painting a picture truly powerful in putting something into perspective for your audience. So yeah, that's something I learned yesterday. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, painting a picture. Yeah, very powerful. You know, we see things in our mind's eye. Even when we close our eyes, we're still seeing things. So it's not just actual the physical world that we're viewing. It's what's in our heads. And if we can create that image in someone's head, it is a very powerful motivator for them to follow through with your message. Absolutely. Interesting. You said, you know, as a storyteller. Yeah, that's you know, going back to Monica's point about storytelling. Storytelling often uses imagery. doesn't it? Even in text, it's still about imagery. So they're closely linked, storytellers. So consider yourselves all storytellers and artists when you're presenting. That's what you're doing. Yeah, you're telling stories and you're using art. Yeah, you're drawing pictures for people. Yeah. Thank you very much, Paul. Calvin, what about you? We haven't even seen your face this morning, Calvin. You're hiding yourself, being shy. Come on. Let's hear what did you learn from lesson 2?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So yeah, there I am.
Yay!
He's really there.
He's real.
I'm really here. So from lesson 2, one of the most important things I took away was the importance of examples and storytelling. My favorite is explaining in threes. I'm getting to enjoy the notion of simplifying or narrowing things into anything that I want to explain or get across into threes. So that's really helped me. I'm also learning a lot about persuasion and behavioral techniques, which before this yesterday's session I didn't know about, and I'm really appreciating and trying to bring them to real life situations in my work life. So yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Calvin. Yeah, threes. Yeah, if you look around threes, you'll find them everywhere, and they are just. I mean, even if you're writing a letter, they're going to be quite powerful. You know, what are the 3 big things I want to get across? So it is very powerful. As I said yesterday, it's because it's psychologically, inbuilt into us that we like to work in threes. And on behavioral techniques and persuasion, we've only just scratched the surface, really. If you are very, very interested in this and think, I want to take this further, then well, there's one way of doing it. Really start looking at human beings. Really start observing your colleagues and what they do and how they make decisions and stuff. But also there are many, many books on the subject as well to back this up. I can actually put some of those books in the LMS if you're interested. Some of the more popular ones I can put in the LMS for you, so you can have a look, sort of list of them, so you can actually look at them. Okay, thank you, Calvin. Okay, heading up the gallery now. Jeffrey, what did you learn from yesterday?
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sorry.
Morning.
Yeah. So what I learned as well, the linguistic techniques as well as the behavioral techniques. Maybe just to recount, you mentioning that if you want to become a good public speaker, we listen to the I Have a Dream speech, how it uses most of the linguistic techniques, mostly reiteration. We shouldn't get tired of repeating ourselves, and the power of that. I think that was one of the things I really enjoyed about that session, especially the Martin Luther King breakdown of how he used words to influence others. So yeah, that's what I learned. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Jeffrey. Yes, Martin Luther King, as I said yesterday, fantastic orator. And the way he played with the senses. Yeah, he used the visual, he used the tactile, how we touch, he used the sense of taste. He played with all those to evoke an emotion. And we said also, emotions often, they beat rationality, the head over heart. That's what Martin Luther King was playing with. And reiteration, he used reiteration. The thing with the reiteration, you've got to be careful not to overdo it. Yeah, but certainly if you've got things in threes, actually there were maybe 3 opportunities in which I could repeat something, reiterate something. Yeah, so you automatically know you could have an option of repeating a key message as you go through your themes, quite possibly. Yeah, but very useful stuff from Martin Luther King. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. And finally, Tara, what did you learn from yesterday?
Well, I think yesterday was really useful for me. I think a lot of it is new to me, at least, and I think also culturally, like coming from Sweden, like you're not supposed to use big words. You don't, you know, you're supposed to be straight to the point. You're not supposed to tell stories or, you know, it's all these things. So I think it's a lot that that got me thinking, and I think it's something I need to work on. For me, the key sort of thing that I think I will use is sort of the ego one. Somehow I think that will work well with the with sort of the logistics colleagues and trying to sort of link what I want to do with you know, what their skills are and things like that. So also trying to put these together with the, you know your audience and that kind of thing. So yeah, I think it was super interesting.
Great, thank you, Tara. Yes, the ego one. As you'll see on Friday, Tara's got quite a challenge trying to persuade logistics officers out of their comfort zone, but into another zone which is they could play a big role. So yeah, actually make them feel good about, you know, all their skills and experience, and move them into a new area. Ego, very, very powerful. But also, yeah, interesting about the culture. Culture map. Yeah, going back to looking at all those, you know, I think there were 8 points in the culture map. We touched on 6 of them and then talked about low context, high context, and communicating. Yeah, it's interesting. You're coming from Sweden, but now working in an international organization based in East Africa. Yeah, there will be subtleties, actually, which you will have to cater for. Yeah, and it's absolutely fascinating. That aspect goes back to human behavior. Yeah, humans are really quite interesting. Yeah, we really are quite interesting in a way. We take ourselves for granted, but yeah, understanding the way human beings operate in different environments and different cultures, that will help you. Absolutely. As you said, Tara, you know, if you were doing the same presentation to a load of people in Sweden, you'd have to recalibrate it compared to delivering it in Nairobi. Knowing your audience. Excellent. We've got Margaret back. Can Margaret hear us? Margaret, can you hear us? Are you there? Doesn't look like it, does it? Hello, Margaret. Oh dear.
Would it help maybe if Margaret and I WhatsApped away from there, and I'll talk her through getting onto this? Maybe.
Yeah, okay, that would be a good
Let
idea.
me get her number. Hang on a minute.
Have you got her number?
No, but what I'll do is I'll message her.
Okay, yeah. You do that and we shall carry on. Thank you, Anna. That's very useful. Okay. But let us crack on. Okay, so we've gone through lots of things you've learned, which is great. From an instructor's point of view, that's good. You're coming back and you are learning stuff, which is kind of the whole point of this exercise. Okay. So let's press on. Linguistics behavior and linguistics and behavior assignment. Remember assignment 3A, that is ongoing at the moment. Okay. I'm not going to look at it specifically now, but I will remind you at the end, because prior to the one-to-ones tomorrow, you really will need to have gone through assignment 3A. Yeah. Assignment 3A will actually help you focus on everything from your objectives right the way through to your information stories and examples that you're going to use. Yeah. And how are you going to use linguistics and behavior within those information stories and examples. Okay, so I'm not going to dwell on it now. We'll come back to it at the end briefly to remind you. Okay, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about non-verbal communication, because what percentage of import does non-verbal communication have? Anybody want to respond? What's the percentage for that? You can put it in chat or tell me. Jeffrey's going to 55, and Jeffrey, gold star to you. Yeah. Oh, Paul's gone for 38. Paul, you let the side down. There we go. Yeah, 38 is tone, how it's said. Yeah, how it's said. Content or words, 7%. Tone, 38. Non-verbal, 55. But do remember, you have to pass all papers in the exam, okay? If you don't get the content or words right in first place, you fail the exam anyway, okay? But now we're going to look at non-verbal communication, which often surprises people in, you know, how powerful it is. Yeah, how powerful it is. But as we go through this, you'll get it. I mean, you do know this because you're all human beings. We all, you know, communicate in the world, and you'll go, yeah, right. Of course, these signals are all over the place, and of course you respond to them, sometimes subconsciously. Yeah. So let's have a look. Firstly, we're going to go with not body language, which everybody thinks is non-verbal communication. It is, but we're going to look at visual aids. Yeah, because they're non-verbal, aren't they? You put a slide up, it's not, the slide doesn't speak, yeah, doesn't verbalize. Yeah, so we're going to look at visual aids to start with, okay? And we're going to start with some pretty simple stuff as well. People get, oh yeah, excited, and we've got some fantastic slides I'm going to do. Well, let's think about some simple stuff you can use as well. You don't need to go all high tech on us. And in some environments where you might work, you might not be able to go high tech. Yeah, some presentations you may not have a nice PowerPoint projector and a screen and stuff. So what about things like flip charts? They can be very, very powerful. Yeah, and just to show you an image, just in case you don't know what a flip chart is, there's a nice image of a man with a flip chart. How simple is that? Yeah. But let's see, so how can you use flip charts in your presentation? Suppose you only had a flip chart for your presentation. How might you use a flip chart? What about if you had some data to work with? Some numbers you had to play with?
You could just write down like your key points, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So if you want to say, you know, right now, you know, 57% of, you know, food getting to so-and-so is, you know, in date, whatever, and, you know, 57%, it's a big number. It's an important number. You might think it's an important piece of information I want to get across. Yeah, 57% on the flip chart. So everybody can see it. Yeah, so it can be used in that way. It can be pre-planned. Yeah, flip chart isn't just about scribbling on it while you're actually talking to people. You can do pre-planning. Yeah, so almost make the flip chart work like a slide deck. Yeah, with your key points or key phrases. Yeah, maybe your three key phrases. You might put them up. Your 3 key themes. I'm going to talk to you about this, this, and this on a flip chart. Basically, you're working with your audience in, you know, with visual aids like this. You're verbalizing, but you're also visually operating with them as well. So flip charts, they can be very, very useful. Yeah. Also, if you do want to be a little bit more interactive and actually write things as you go along, yeah, bearing in mind, if you're writing on a flip chart, you're normally turning your back to the audience. So be aware of that when we talk about body language. Maybe you are meant to be engaging with the audience, not with the flip chart. Yeah, but you can, to a degree, write things up. They can be used as notes. And one way of doing this is actually to use a pencil, a light pencil, and write maybe a bit of data, maybe a phrase on the flip chart, such that the audience can't see what's written on the flip chart, because you do it very lightly, but you can. So it can just help you there as well. Yeah, even though you will have notes written down on a piece of paper if you need, but also you can use that as a little bit of a prompt as well. So flip charts, you know, a really, really powerful presentation can be done with something as basic as a flip chart. That's what we used to do in the good old days. Yeah, before we had overhead projection. Yeah, so most of you won't even remember that, OHPs. So flip charts. Also, whiteboards as well. Yeah, similar sort of process. Yeah, and again, you can pre-plan whiteboards thing is with whiteboards, you normally have, yeah, and chalk and blackboard, same principle. Yeah, in some places, whiteboards, blackboards, chalk, marker, same principles. Yeah, you can do a degree of pre-preparation of them. Not quite the same as flip charts because you can't necessarily hide them. Some of them do swivel, so you can think, actually, I could use, write one side and then the other. So I prefer not to use whiteboards unless I'm doing instruction. Yeah, they're very good for instruction and not as effective, I don't think, for presentations, but they can be done. What I would say is with whiteboards, if you do want to capture all the things that you've put on the board during a presentation, then don't forget to use one of these, a mobile phone, and take a photograph of it. Because what do people do with whiteboards? They wipe them. And with blackboards, they wipe them eventually. When you want to go back and go, okay, these are the things I talked about, and they're all gone, then you've lost it. This is especially relevant for meetings, even though we're not covering meetings in this session. Especially good for meetings. All your action points are on the whiteboard, and the cleaners come in and wipe them all off. Oh, never mind. It's all done. So yeah, don't forget whiteboards. Capture them. Okay. So flip charts and whiteboards. Flip charts I quite like. Whiteboards not so much, but are relevant. Okay. But props. Yeah, the dollar bill. Reagan used, that was a prop. Yeah. Props very good at priming. Yeah. When I'm talking about the dollar bill, I have the dollar bill in my hand. Yeah. So that can be very, if you're talking about a new device that's used to, let's say in your context, a new device which is being used in the field to, keep food longer or something like that, whatever it is. Well, if you're going to talk about it and you want people to, invest in it or whatever it is, then maybe have one with you, So think about that. If I was selling toothpaste to you, yeah, it'd be pretty silly if I didn't have the toothpaste. Think about props. Think about props, physical things that can be used. Yeah, physical things that can be used. And it's not just about, props aren't just about physical things that you can hold or show and demonstrate. Also think about how you dress is a kind of a prop. You might consider, okay, so, I'm going to wear a t-shirt which says, WFP is great or something. Or as long as it's relevant to your messaging. Yeah. So props can be used, can be a wide variety of things. Yeah. But they are a visual aid. They do have a sense of influential power in getting a message across. Okay. But of course, we do have to think about slides. Yeah, we do have to think about slides. PowerPoint normally, sometimes Keynote. There are others are available, as they say in the corporate world. Yeah, but pretty much everyone uses PowerPoint. Yeah. So what are the main things about PowerPoint? Well, okay, what makes, I'm going to ask you, what makes for a really good slide? Over to you. What makes for a really good slide?
Short and not a lot of text, I would say.
Short, no longer text, absolutely. Monica?
Text, images, graphs, all together consolidated for ease of reference.
Oh, okay. Okay. So lots of stuff consolidated for ease of reference. Okay, right. We're going to come back to that. Yeah, because yes, in a way, a slide deck can be very useful if it's put together like that. But I'm going to come back to that. Jeffrey said white space. What do you say white space? Just a white space. That's a good slide.
No, maybe just to elaborate, the more it has space that doesn't have text, the more cleaner it looks. And yes, you shouldn't put too much on the slide. It should be very clear.
Yeah. Yeah, clean, but I mean, it's like Tara said, you know, short and simple. Yeah, not too much text. Yeah, on it. Absolutely. The more white space in a way, the better, up to a point. You don't want complete white space, otherwise it's just a white space. But yeah, there is a limit to how much you can just stuff onto a slide, really. And when we say white space, I think it's more blank space, because of course it doesn't need to be white. It could be another color, but it's just space which is not busy. Yeah. There is, you know, there's space on the slide which is relaxed and quiet and not, you know, not doing much for you. Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else? Short notes. Short notes. Paul, what do you mean by short notes?
Basically, capturing points, short points that you'll expound on. So yeah. So
So just summary points. Yeah, not the entirety of what you're going to say. Yeah, because if you are going to say it, yeah, why do I need to read it as well? Yeah. So, and we'll come back to that a little bit, because that's what Monica was talking about. And there is this crossover. Sometimes I see slides that are produced and they're very good, but they're very good as documents, not as slides. It's PDF documents. So we'll come back to that. Okay, so you're getting the idea. This is good. I'm just going to bring up what I think. I think we've covered a lot of it anyway. Simplicity, yeah. Brevity, to the point, yeah. Using sparingly, yeah. I have seen people who've, you know, they're going to give a 30-minute presentation, and, you know, they say, can you send me your slides so we can load them onto the computer? And they go, yeah, here we go, 150 slides. And you're thinking, what? You've got 30 minutes? Oh yeah, it's fine. You can, no, it is not. I'd say rule of thumb, over a longer period, say you're giving a 30 or 45-minute presentation. I think if you're doing more than 45 minutes, you're pushing the boundaries of capturing people's, you know, attention. After 45 minutes, people start getting a little bit agitated. Yeah, as human beings, we don't like going more than that. But if you're doing a 30-minute, 45-minute presentation, I'd say one slide every 2 to 3 minutes is about maximum. Yeah. For a shorter presentation, you can get away with a little bit quicker. I'd say for Friday's presentation, where you're being given a maximum of 8 minutes, I'd say no more, absolutely no more than probably 8 slides. That doesn't mean to say you've got to do a slide a minute, yeah, but I'd say no more. I'd say you're aiming between 5 and 8. 4, between 4 and 8, let's say, yeah. But definitely not overloading me, you know, with information. But this is the problem, which I'll come back to. Yeah. Also, don't use the PowerPoint as a script, because if it becomes a script, then all of a sudden it starts getting overloaded with text, and you want to read it from the screen. Now, there are 2 problems with that. One, if you're reading it from the screen, especially in a public forum where the screen tends to be behind you, then who do you end up talking to? The screen. Yeah, you start. The screen was here behind me and I'm lecturing or presenting, and I'm looking up and using it as a script. I'm looking at the screen more than I'm looking at the audience. I'm meant to be engaging with the audience, not the screen. So that's one thing. And 2, if you start putting loads of text up there as a script, then it's a little bit annoying, because the audience will be thinking, why didn't you just put it in a document and send it to me? You've brought me here to talk to me, when actually you've written it all down. You're not deviating from what you're saying. Goes back to Paul's point about summarizing short notes and then expanding on them. Yeah, this is public speaking, not public reading. Yeah, so do not use as a script, very dangerous. However, avoid death by bullet point. Yeah, you're right. Short summary bullet points, short summary points, absolutely great. Yeah, but when you've got 20 of them on a slide, pushing it a bit, you're going, whoa, you're starting to get into that realm of I'm visually overloaded while he or she's talking to me. Yeah. Right now, I'm going through bullet points, really, aren't I? Yeah. And I think I'm pushing the boundary on this slide. And I've got a few more points to go. Yeah. You put 15, 20 on a slide, too much for me as a member of the audience. So avoid death by bullet points. And also think about drama and images, as some of you said as well, instead of masses of words and data. Yeah. If you have got masses of words and data, then there is a format for them. Yeah. And this is where we'll talk about what Monica mentioned about, lots of references, graphs, data, and stuff like that. Yes, it may be very important you do get that across to your audience. Your audience needs to understand something quite technical, and therefore you do need graphs and maybe some data. Yeah, maybe a lot of data to work with. What you want on a slide is something very simple. If it gets quite technical and detailed, you want to give that in another format. As I said, the problem I often see with slides is that someone will write a slide deck, but actually they write it as it's designed to be read. Yeah. Because actually the most use they get out of it is they print it out as a PDF and give it out as a handout. That's fine as a handout. It's not fine as a slide deck for a presentation. They are two different things. So be very wary of trying to make a single slide deck do the job of both slide deck for a presentation, but slide deck for a handout. Yeah, they can't do it. One single slide deck can't really do both. Yeah. It can do both if you hide, if you could make one slide deck and then hide certain slides and print out other slides. Yeah. But if your slide deck you present is exactly the same as what you hand out as a presentation, it will never work. It will work very well only in one way, either as a handout or as a presentation. So be wary of that. I've seen it happen too many times. Yeah. Someone says, oh, I've got a really good slide deck. What's a slide deck for? Presentation. Okay, if it's for a presentation, this is the way it should look. They go, it's for a handout. It should look very different. Does everybody follow that? Have you seen that happen before? Yeah. Okay. So be very, very aware of that. Yeah. Okay. I want you just to look at this. Yeah. That's my page I've got now. Yeah. I press that. Do that again. Notice how those words, what happens to those words when I do that? What happens to the words when I do that? They only very tiny, but they fade in and fade out. They don't jump up. They don't swing in from the side, those words. Yeah. We're talking about transitions and animations. Yeah. Use subtle ones. Yeah. If you were presenting to a bunch of 8-year-olds, then fine. Make it all whizzy and words. You work in a professional organization. Yeah. So I think a little bit of subtlety is what is required. Okay. You're a bunch of professionals. So subtle transitions. Yeah. Both in transition from slide to slide, but also when words are brought up on a slide. Yeah. I'll do the next one. Use builds. Notice Let's go back. That it comes in quite quickly, but it is a fade in. Yeah, it's not a boom, just appear. Okay, but use build. This is what I'm doing now. I'm building up on a single slide. I'm building up using transitions. I'm building up, yeah, information. Yeah, because what happens if I've got probably another 4 or 5 points I want to bring up on here. What happens if I bring up all 4 points and then start talking about the first one? What are you doing as the audience? So I've got a load of points up there, and then I start talking about the first one. What are you doing?
You start reading the next point.
Yeah.
The other points, yeah.
Absolutely, Margaret. Yeah, you start reading all the points. And it could be that you're quite interested in the last point, yeah, but the presenters wants you to concentrate. You want them to concentrate on the first point. So never bring them all up. Brum. Yeah, because then the audience will start going, oh, well, I'll just look at those. And all of a sudden you've lost them. Yeah, you're meant to be taking them through a journey, your journey. Yeah, and you're just giving them all of a sudden a load of pathways to play with, to just explore. So use builds, as I'm doing here. Think visually. Here's what's a drama image, big, bold, and bright. That's what we like. Yeah, big, bold, and bright. I'll bring an example of that in a minute. Also, video. If you use video, we don't use videos in this training, but if you were to use a video, something I've learned the hard way over years is, if you can, insert it into the slide deck and also hyperlink it if you are connected to the internet as well. Because your video probably will come from somewhere, yeah, be either on your own website or from YouTube or something like that. So it probably will be on the internet. But insert it in and hyperlink it, just in case one of them fails. Sometimes it does. Yeah, it should work if it's inserted into it. I'd say, yeah, insert in is the best way, because then you know it's there. But if that fails, hyperlink. Not the other way around. Don't rely on your hyperlink. Hyperlink is a separate, it's a secondary backup. Yeah, because you know what it's like. You hyperlinked in, and all of a sudden you haven't got internet. You think, uh-oh, I can't play it. Yeah. Also, one thing about video, check your volume as well. Yeah, if you're going to play a video and you want volume, make sure you have volume on at the start of the presentation. Okay. Also, use a remote clicker. And I see bad preparation. I'm very sorry. Where is my remote clicker? It's somewhere. I have got one, I promise. But I can't find it at the moment. But you all know the devices I'm talking about. Yeah, the little sort of click, 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 click. Yeah, you've all seen them. Yeah. Don't think we need to go through that. But yeah, use a remote clicker. Otherwise, if you're in a public fora, otherwise you're chained to the computer. As we talk about stagecraft, we want you to move around. Yeah, body language gives away a lot. You are the most important part of the presentation, human to human. So if you're stuck behind a lectern, having to press a button all the time, not good. Use your remote clicker. Okay. And use plain fonts. Once again, you're not dealing with 8-year-olds or 12-year-olds. You're a professional organization, so use plain fonts, not Times New Roman, quite old, and not Comic Sans. Okay, because otherwise people think this. Fonts matter. Fonts do matter. Okay, professional organization, just like wingdings and everything whizzing around and stuff like that. That's for 8-year-olds. Professional organization. Okay. But let's have a look at when I did say to us about big, bold, and bright. Yeah. So far, my slides, I wouldn't say have been big, bold, and bright. But that's because I'm an instructor. I'm in instructional mode. Yeah, as opposed to persuasive mode. Yeah. I'm educating you in something. very different from a presentation in which we're being persuasive. Yeah. So a subtle difference. But if you are going to be persuading me and you've got limited time with me, yeah, and you may not know me, and you know you've got an objective that you want me to do something big, bold, and bright. Yeah, it's often a good way to go. This, I'm going to just show you some of the things, some example here. It's actually quite an old example. It's about 8 or 10 years old, but I think it's great because it just sums up big, bold, and bright. This is a presentation about education, university education. Okay. I'm not going to actually talk it through. You can see what it says. I'll just, you know, we're currently preparing students for jobs that don't exist. If I was presenting, I'd probably elaborate upon that using technologies that haven't been invented. Elaborate on that in order to solve problems we don't even know are problems yet. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And why is that? It's because of information. Yeah, it's estimated that 40 exabytes. Wow, 40 exabytes. That's 4 times 10 to the 19 of unique generation will be generated worldwide this year. Okay, wow, what's that? Well, that is more than in the previous 5,000 years. Yeah, big, bold, you know, I'm throwing it, you know, really being big with this. Whoa, really? Very bold here. Yeah, the amount of new technical information is doubling every 2 years. Wow, 2 years, big. Can't miss that. Yeah. So that means for students starting a 3-year university degrees, half of what they learn in the first year of study will be outdated by the end of their studies. We need to sort out our education. Yeah. Okay, I'm not trying to persuade you about education or whatever, just giving you some examples. I'd say on this one, you might want to do a build, yeah, and the green bit coming afterwards, yeah, and a click. Yeah, but the idea is, you know, this is bold stuff. I'm not shying away. Yeah, that one especially. Yeah, but good, you know, good imagery. Yeah, worldwide. No, well, you know, cool. Technologies, yeah, big. Modern city, technology, high tech. Yeah. So think big, bold, and bright. Yeah. Of course, sometimes you think, okay, that's all very good. These big images, yeah, bold and bright. But sometimes I have to be a little bit more detailed, especially in your line of work. Yeah, how do I work with data? Yeah, especially as Jem's told me not to put loads and loads and loads of data on the screen. Put that in a handout. Yeah, Jem said, he said, don't put lots of data on the screen, but handout. So how? But he said also information, stories and examples. Information is data. So how do we deal with data? Well, think about how you present data. So it doesn't just need to be numbers and graphs. A good graph is very, very powerful. A good simple graph is very, very powerful. But there are other ways of doing it. And I'd say just take some time to study infographics. Yeah, how infographics can present data, basically graphics. Yeah, so some of that, pie charts, simple pie charts, not overcomplicated ones. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's from World Health Organization, I think. That one. Yeah. Okay. Pneumonia, #1 killer amongst leading infection diseases. Wow, I thought that'd be malaria as a layman, but no, pneumonia. Wow. Okay. How does it compare? There you go. So there's a lot of data on there, but actually it's easily visually digestible. So think about if I have got a lot of, yeah, Monica's saying, oh, I just noticed Monica says WF uses open sans. That's acceptable, Monica. But yeah, in terms of representation here, yeah, we can take data and simplify it visually, so I can pick up what you're trying to say, what your point is, very, very quickly. Yeah, without going into the data. If I wanted to go into more data on, say, pneumonia, Yeah, a lot more data. I'd say actually you go away from here and say it's in a handout, and you've prepared a good handout which goes into exactly how those pneumonia deaths are broken down across the world or something, or whatever. Yeah, unless that's relevant to your, you know, your presentation, you might want to actually then have another graphic about how pneumonia is broken down across the world. A simple graphic. But if you need to go into detail, which is extra, especially for the reflectives in the audience who like a bit of detail before they buy in, have a handout. Have a handout. Okay. And of course, you guys do this all the time. Yeah, you guys do this all the time. And you know, using simple graphic software, using interesting icons, you guys do it all the time. And there you go. There's the proof. Yeah, that's from 6 years ago, but I could go onto the WFP website now and find loads of these. Loads of these. Yeah. Now, obviously, that total infographic is its purpose is not for a presentation. Yeah, that purpose is either for digital digital information, or maybe as a flyer or a handout. Yeah, but the principles of actually how it's captured. Yeah, UN humanitarian air services donors. Yeah, that could be a slide if this was your subject. Those flags. Yeah, those are other activities at the bottom. Yeah, they're simple icons, simple pieces of information that you could use on slides, or that style could be used on slides. So WFP, you do use infographics. Have a look at how they're being produced in this format and think, could I actually use it in my presentations? Up there it says, to the top left, countries where WFP Aviation, UNHAS, or both have operated. That's a big list. You could throw that up on a slide, but it's a lot. There's a lot there. Probably not worth putting on a slide. You could put it graphically behind. There's actually a map which shows where they've operated. That's probably a better thing to put in a presentation than the list of countries. That list of countries, if you did want to get it across, yeah, that's possibly for a handout. And the map serves as the mechanism during the presentation as a visual aid. Okay, so a subtle difference. A subtle difference. Okay. Prezi. Does anybody use Prezi? Has anybody played with Prezi before? No. Anna has, obviously. No. Okay, that's fine. Prezi, it's an online editor. Looks quite cool. You've probably seen Prezi. Thought, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I'd say leave it to professionals. There's people who've done a lot of time, have spent a lot of time working on it. Okay. It looks cool. It's actually quite demanding to build. Okay. You probably haven't got time. There are more important things in life for you than spending time doing Prezi.
And in fairness, I mean, Prezi, you have to pay a lot for to use it. And you can do so much with PowerPoint,
yeah,
with the animations. It's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Also think about online demos. If you want people to start using a certain system which they haven't been using, well, it's like a prop, isn't it? Well, I'm gonna, you should be using this system, more often than you are at the moment, and that's what I want you to do. And here's the system. Yeah, on the screen, online demo. Yeah, we learn. Yeah, there you go. Off it goes. Yeah, or we travel. Get up there. Yeah, show me it. Yeah, it is a prop in the digital realm. So think about online demos as well. Okay. But I would say with online demos, double check the technology beforehand. Yeah. If you're going to spend a bit of time with an online demo on it, it doesn't come up. Oh dear. Yeah. You're really stuck. Yeah. And in this format, make sure of screen share that you know which screen to share. Yeah. So if you're using Teams or Zoom or whatever, yeah, normally there are many options of screen share. And I think yesterday I managed to share the wrong screen Yeah, so just make sure you know the technology. Okay. But talking about technology, we're spending much more time doing this, aren't we? A lot more time on VTC, video teleconferencing presentations. Yeah, you're probably all experts at this now, because we've all had 18 months to get used to it, but there's a couple of things we just want to take into account. The background. What does it say? What does your background actually say? Yeah. So let's have a look. Jeffrey, I need you to put your camera on as well. I want to see everyone's background, so we have a good look at the background. Okay, right. So, Tara, you're in a nice place outside. Looks quite lovely and stuff. Yeah. If you were giving a formal presentation, would that be the background you'd go for?
Yeah, I guess I have done it before. I haven't
Yeah,
thought
I mean, it's not a bad one. Like, it's not bad. The only thing I'd worry about is you've got glass behind you. Where does the sun come? Will that reflect at some point in the day? It's a little thing, but it's not bad, because it's actually, it's not saying much except you're outside. There are no big distractions. It's fairly plain. Yeah, so I'd go with that. I think if you were giving a properly formal thing, you might think, actually, is it too relaxed? The background, maybe it's giving a signal, so, but it's not bad. Okay, Calvin, what have you got going on there? You're not even. Okay. That we're going to talk about looking into the camera in a minute. You're not even looking at us. Calvin's ignoring.
I'm using two monitors. I'm using another monitor.
You're just watching. You're watching Netflix or something on another screen, aren't you?
No. My laptop is somewhere down here.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Okay. I'm messing with you. Yeah, but it's very important. Eye contact with the camera.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But background-wise, it's quite bright in the background. Yeah. Okay. We'll come back to that. Monica. Yeah, you've got a curtain behind you. So Margaret, you're in some big office. Yeah, big office. Okay. And Paul and Jeffrey, you're obviously quite shy of your background. You don't want us to see what it is, really. Well, tell you what, turn your blur off. Let's have a look. We want to really see what's going on behind you. Let's turn your blur off, both of you. There you go. Okay, Jeffrey's right. Okay. So Jeffrey, okay, here's a question. So why did you blur the background? Sorry, you're on mute.
Well, maybe you can't tell, but when I blur my background, it looks like I've combed my hair. So, yeah. So,
I've never heard that as a reason. Okay, interesting. I've never heard that as a reason.
Yeah.
I'm going to come in here because I don't think some of the girls may have the problem. You can see I've got very curly hair. So when you use a false background, so sometimes I do a bit of news reading, but I have to record it at home. Look what happens. Hang on a minute. Oops.
Yeah. So that's just one of the main reasons.
I just had a.
Okay. Let's see what Anna looks like with her, because Anna's got
my Zoom. Yeah. So I have a big problem because of this. Actually, it's just I upgraded my Zoom this morning, so it's just see what happens.
Let's have a look.
Right.
Oh, there we go.
You can see it just. So if ever I'm reading the news, I actually have to either tie it right back, or I have to straighten it. And when this weather and you've got hair like mine, it's really, really difficult. Where it might work, I'm on holiday. Who cares? But you do think about if you've got colours as well. If I was wearing a green screen, I would just be disappearing on this. So again, with your background, if you're using a formal full program background, make sure that the colours, you're not going to, bits of you aren't going to disappear. Yeah,
because that hair thing, when you blur or put a false background, it does go a little bit.
Yeah,
you can see it. So I'd say, I mean, the reason I asked you Jeffrey, about your background, if you just take your background off and put your normal plain background on, that's fine. It's not distracting at all. I'd say really you want to think about what the background says, and it should be fairly blank. I mean, my background, possibly a little busy if I went like that. My background, grey, a light, a mirror. There's, it's pretty neutral. It's pretty neutral, yeah. So I'd say your background should be as neutral as possible, unless of course you want to have something like a WFP logo in the background. I'd say if you were, then have a real one in the background. Real backgrounds are better than blurred ones and false ones. Yeah, so if you can, have a real background. And I'd say that most of you, I'd say Tara, you can get away with that. I'd say Jeffrey, definitely. I'd say Paul, you could, accept it's very bright in the background. So you'd have to think about that. I'd say with Calvin and Monica, it's a little bit, there's a fair bit of, there are things in the background. Yeah, there's windows. Margaret, you've got the office behind you. What's happening behind Margaret? What's going on? People might walk behind you, Margaret, even in that office. Monica, you're sort of in the middle, a little bit like Paul. Yeah, that it's fairly plain, but you've got a bright background. My point being is, think about, what does it say? What does my background say? Because I know what I'm meant to be saying. I know what I'm meant to be presenting, what I want the audience to do. Does my background help me persuade the audience to do what I want to do? Does it give me credibility? We'll talk about credibility again later. Yeah, so think about your background. Have a real background if possible. Only blur it if you need to, and only put a false one if you need to. Unless, of course, Jeffrey, you've got extremely messy hair. In which case you got, I don't really have that problem, so I'm fine. As I mentioned about lighting, yeah, be very, very careful of lighting, background lighting. Yeah, natural lighting is the best. Yeah. Oh yeah, and yep, you can get one of those.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife uses one of those for her work. Yeah, a light of that. But natural light, very, very powerful. What I've got here, I've got balance. I've got natural light from a window over there, and I have a big desk lamp on that side as well. And my back is fairly dark. Yeah, so I'm not being backlit. Yeah, so think about your lighting as well. Okay. Audio. Yeah, oddly enough, I mean, Anna, you'll back me up on this. Oddly enough, people go, when we're doing video, video great, but we forget about audio. Audio is really important, and people often forget about it. Yeah. So consider your use of mic. At the moment, I'm using the internal mic from my computer. In fact, the mic on my earphones. These are AirPods. They tend to be quite good. Some microphones are not. Some computer mics are not that good. If they're not, consider actually getting an external mic. They're not expensive. Yeah, and watch out for background noise. Yeah, especially if you're having to do this in a busy environment. What's going on in the background? Yeah, are people, are you next door to the canteen where people are going to come in half an hour and start getting coffee and tea and stuff? Think about where you are.
The other thing is, when you're checking your audio, because Zoom gives you that option to check everything, and you'll probably only hear it through headphones when it's recording it, but some computers are quite noisy, and you can hear, when you get the recording, you can actually hear the whirring underneath, and things like overhead lights kind of have that buzz. So very often you're not going to pick that up without headphones, because the natural ear can't hear it, but it will come up on the recording. So, depending on what you're doing, and if it is going to be recorded, just be really, just check that, because it can be really distracting otherwise.
Yeah, and it's just something that we often just forget. The video, the visual looked great. Often we forget just to make sure the audio works. Okay. Camera. Now, yeah, see, Calvin is just doing what he's not meant to do. But I'll forgive you this time, Calvin. I'll forgive you this time. Yeah. But actually, that doesn't matter, because you're the audience. That's fine. You can do what you want. The audience can do what they want. Yeah. But in terms of the presenter, really, you want to be looking eyes on. Yeah. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. Yeah. You really want to be looking eyes on. Now, actually, with all of you here, you all tend to be looking at the camera, which is great. You know where the camera is. You're looking at the camera. But often you will find people who just haven't registered it, and they'll be looking down here. Yeah. So what I would say the easiest way of doing it is where your eyes, where you feel comfortable in your eyes looking at the screen, make sure that that is nearest the camera. Yeah. So right now I have got my gallery, so I can see all of you. Yeah, but that is right below the camera. Yeah. So if I'm looking at myself, looking at Tara, looking at Paul, and my eyes aren't that far off from the camera, which is just there. Yeah. Whereas if I just put you guys, the gallery, down there, I'm chatting away, looking at you, but I'm not actually looking into your eyes. Yeah, which just freaks people out a bit, and it breaks that sort of concentration between the presenter and the audience. Yeah. So wherever your eyes are comfortable on the screen, where you're looking, make sure that that bit is nearest the camera you can get it. Okay. And in terms of eyes, eye level. Yeah. Eye level. Camera should be, you should be looking at the camera. Yeah. Basically at about the same level as your eyes. Yeah. Not so good. Yeah. I've seen some really great presentations where the speaker's like that. You go, that's great. Yeah, fantastic. Really great slides and big bold brides, but yeah, it's just weird. So yeah, you're all doing it. We're all pretty good at this now. Yeah, we're all pretty good at this. One other thing, a little thing is, and I'm afraid I'm not doing it completely well, is try and get the camera. If I was doing this properly, yeah, I would have it like that. Yeah, where there's a straight horizontal line between my eyes and the camera. Yeah, actually, for comfort, because this is a 3-hour session and I'm training, I'm looking slightly down to the camera. Yeah, which isn't brilliant. Yeah, and likewise, you don't want to be looking up to the camera. Just nice if you can get the camera at and your eyes in a horizontal plane. Yeah, which most of you have got, except for Calvin, who's all over the place, obviously. No. Yeah, yes, he's still good on it. Yeah, he doesn't know where to look now. Yeah, the rest of you, yeah. Margaret, you're looking down a bit. Yeah, but this is, I'm being picky now. But yeah, if you can get the camera at the same level as your eyes, then that's fine. Okay. So that's a bit of VTC. So before we move on to more non-verbal communication, we start talking about body language. Are there any questions or comments so far about the visual aid aspect of it? Because we will want to see your visual aids in play on Friday. Are you all comfortable with your PowerPoint skills? Or comfortable enough? Yeah. Okay. That's fine. No questions or comments? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Good. Okay. Right. Well, let's talk about bodies. Let's talk about bodies. Yeah. And faces and stuff like that. Okay. The big one, everybody says non-verbal communication, it's all about body language. Well, yes, it is to a large degree, but we've already shown actually there are other visual things, non-verbal things like visual aids. But bodies, okay, let's talk about bodies. Okay. Body language, there are many books on this you can go and get, okay. But all of them basically do say that this is pretty primitive. This is hardwired. Yeah. We all signal with our bodies. Yeah. Culturally, we might be giving off different signals, but there are also many signals which are just cross-cultural, that are human. Yeah. But it's primitive, it's hardwired. We can't not give and receive signals via our bodies. So you give anyway. Yeah. The shaking of the head. Yeah. Yeah. What's generally across the world, what does that mean? What does that mean?
No.
No.
No. Yeah. No. No. So if you're trying to persuade me of something and I'm going, I'm giving you a signal. Yeah, nah, I'm not really agreeing with you at all. It isn't always no. There are some cultures where that will mean yes, or I agree. So just be aware. I mean, Japan is one culture where you're discussing, often there'll be a nod of the head. Yeah, you think, oh yeah, that's a yes, isn't it? Yeah. Great. No, they're understanding me. It's good. It's what. No, actually, that nod means I'm listening. I'm listening. Doesn't mean say I'm agreeing at all. Whereas, certainly in the UK and in Europe, if someone's nodding, that means they're getting it. Brilliant. Yeah. Okay. And as I say, that sometimes in some parts of the world doesn't mean yes. It means ambivalence and sometimes means no. So just be aware. But by and large, yeah, we are giving, the head can give a signal. Yeah. What's this mean? What's this signifying? Especially, it's quite difficult to show it on Zoom, but in public, if someone was opening their arms, what's it mean?
Welcoming.
Yeah, it's welcoming. It's open. It's friendly. Yeah. So it does get that, and that's pretty universal. Pretty universal. Okay. What about this one? What does that mean? You see people doing that.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, this is beautifully illustrated, and this is across the world. You go to a sports match, say a football match or a cricket match or whatever, and you see, one side, lose some runs or concede a goal. You see whole swathes of people going, oh, yeah. In a football stadium, you'll see it. Yeah. No one told them that's what you're meant to do if things go bad. No one told, if it's really bad, you go, oh my God. No, hardwired. In fact, we think it's actually the same as effectively going into the fetal position to protect ourselves against bad things, bad news, an attack. Yeah, we tend to go into fetal position. It's part of doing that. Yeah. So we're really going back into sort of evolutionary instincts there. Okay. The smile. Across the world, the smile is probably the most engaging facial expression that you can use, and that's cross-cultural. Yeah, use it. If you're going to try and persuade me to buy into your idea, yeah, a smile is very powerful, without being too false. You don't know, but a natural smile, very, very engaging. Yeah, it's giving a signal. Yeah. So this is hardwired stuff. Okay. Well, let's now look at the body, and I want to treat the body basically from several different perspectives. First, looking at standing, and then sitting, and looking at different parts of the body. The way I see it, and this is not a strict medical analogy, is the further away your body part is from the brain, the more likely that body part is to do what it wants to do. Yeah, it'll start doing its own thing according to your subconscious emotions. Yeah. Let's start with standing. Okay. Some signals which you have to be aware of. And I'd say not necessarily more aware of in your audience, but also be aware of what you might be doing as well. Okay. So standing. The no comment position. Okay. And there are some variations between male and female. And this is physiological, nothing more. Okay. The no comment position. For a male. Closed in, yeah, body brought in. Yeah, body's not expanded. Hey, cool, yeah, wow. Brought in. Legs together, arms down the side, just okay. Tends to be giving me a signal of I'm not engaged in this. I'm fairly ambivalent about what you're saying. Okay. We've got a bit of background noise coming from somewhere. Okay. Can we all mute? Obviously, I won't mute, otherwise it won't hear me. Okay, cool. Okay, that's good. Yeah, excellent. The dominant display. Yeah, again, this tends to be male. Yeah, females don't tend to display this. Yeah, that's legs apart. That's standing ready for action. I am dominant. Yeah, legs apart. Yeah, we'll see in a minute that other body parts can contribute to this dominance display as well. So if males start doing this, that means they're challenging. They're challenging what you're saying. Okay, if they're standing. Okay. The exit display. This one, I love this one. The exit display. Okay. Note where that gentleman's foot is pointing. His foot is pointing generally where he wants to go. So next time, post-COVID, when we're in parties together, yeah, just watch people in discussion with people, yeah, see where their legs are going. Because I've seen it before now. You'll have someone who's chatting to someone politely, but they're really quite bored, and their friends are over there having a really good time, and you'll see their leg pointing towards their friends, and yeah, there you go, he wants to go over there. And they're nodding politely, going, yeah, really, that's very interesting, very fascinating. And their legs are going, I want to go that way. I want to go that way. Yeah. Next, they just do their own thing. So next time you're at parties and you see people and you think, wonder if they're bored, watch their legs. See where their legs are pointing. And then look and go, oh, that's where they want to go. Yeah. Interesting things, human beings. Yeah. The reticence position. Now, okay, so we had no comment position, but reticence. Now I'm really not buying into what you're saying. Yeah, now I'm really not, you're not winning me over here. Yeah. Legs crossed. So we're bringing the body in even more. Yeah. Certainly the legs, we're bringing the body in even more. Yeah. We'll see again that arms can play a role in this as well. Just showing legs at the moment they're standing. Okay. Rest is position. Oh, I'm starting to lose this person. Okay. With women, signals aren't as pronounced necessarily because here we have staying but unconvinced. Yeah. So it's not quite really not interested, not buying what you're saying. But cross legs, yeah, they're staying, but I'm not convinced at the moment. Okay. Subtle differences. Physiology plays a role in this, that male and female bodies are different, and that's the way it is. Yeah. So the way that the bodies can give signals subtly change. Okay. And that's the reason it's when I think people, oh, Jen was being very gender biased. No, I'm just saying that's the way it is because of the physiology of bodies. Okay. So let's have a look though. Okay, the sitting then, because legs can also give a signal when you're sitting. Yeah. The no comment position when sitting. Yeah, legs crossed. Legs crossed. Once again, closing the body in. Closing the body in. Now, some of you might start thinking, well, yeah, sometimes I sit crossed legs, and it doesn't mean to say I'm, not interested in what someone's saying. we will come back to that at the end. Yeah, because sometimes we will be doing one of these signs, but it's not really saying what Jem's saying it is. We'll come back to that in a minute, because it's not precise science, but it can actually indicate something. So that's the no comment position. Okay, getting a bit negative now. Negative vibes, really not, nah, you're not, you know, I was ambivalent a minute ago with no comment. Now I'm really bringing my body in. Yeah, I'm locking my legs together. Yeah, I've seen this happen many times. Anna, you and I have probably seen this happen with an interview. Some people are sitting, and you can see when the killer question comes in, you know, cross legs, closing in. Even a consummate spokesperson will just still up here look great, but you can go, oh yeah, here we go. Here are the signals. Yeah, they're really not liking this challenge. Yeah,
there was
that,
yeah, there was actually, it's gone viral now. There was an interview on I think it was on the BBC on Sunday morning with Boris Johnson. And, you know, he started off all sort of friendly with a presenter called Andrew Marr, who's known for quite hard-hitting political interviews. And at the end of it all, you could see Boris Johnson, he was sitting there with his hands on his knees, kind of slightly leaning forward and being a little bit aggressive, but really, you know, hunching up, really wanting to get out of there. I mean, the body language said it all, and it was all very friendly, but his body language couldn't disguise how, you know, this absolutely hated being there. And for him, Boris Johnson's pretty good normally in those situations. It was, yeah, it was interesting to see that, because you can't help, you can learn to do things slightly differently if you feel yourself going into those sort of primitive moves. But sometimes even the best
it's primitive. Yeah,
it is primitive. Police use it all the time.
Yeah, they watch out for these little telltale signs. So, you know, just be aware and maybe try and counter, but also be aware that, yeah, sometimes it is hardwired into you. Okay, so negative vibes, locking in, bringing your body in, ankle locks, locked together. Okay, but here, okay, now I'm getting competitive. Yeah, now I'm not only, you know, I was ambivalent in the first one I showed you in sitting. I was negative, not agreeing with you. Now I'm going on the offensive. So next time you give me an opportunity to speak, I'm gonna start attacking you. The competitive clamp. And males do this a lot. Yeah, they sit back. Yeah, lock in, ready for battle. Yeah, I'm locking my body ready for battle.
Yeah, and I know that's something I'm sure the women will appreciate this. When you walk into a room and it's mainly, sorry guys, but it's true, and they're all sitting there like this, leaning back as though to say, what's she going to say to us? Which comes back to what we were talking about before, about establishing your credentials. So it's, you know, if you see body language like that, you can use other things verbally as well as your own body language to counter it.
Yeah. That's a sign. Yeah, it's a sign that, yeah, bring it on. New person coming to speak to me, don't know who this person is. Yeah, okay, bring it on.
I mean, it's quite interesting how they suddenly change because the issue for me is I'm very, very short. So if they can actually see me past the lectern, I have to move to the side anyway. And I get them laughing, even if I'm going to be talking about a serious subject, but I'm not what they're expecting half the time. I've had people say to me, I can't believe this is you. Why? Well, I expected you to be tall and blonde and big. I don't know what they meant by that, but, you know, so, you know, I have to counter it by using different body language, and you'll work out what's good for you to make, you know, to change people's body language and to make that entrance. But we'll be doing a little bit more.
Yeah. So competitive clamp. What about female version of competitive clamp? Because females don't do that. Yeah, but females do, and this proves the physiological thing about bodies, because males can't do this. We can't actually do this, and this is the shy twine. Yeah. Once again, body being locked, body sort of, you know, enveloping itself, coming in. I'm really not engaging in this. I'm really just pulling myself in. Yeah, I'm not open to your ideas. You're persuading me to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm really not. But males can't do that. I challenge any male to have a go. So Jeffrey, Paul, Calvin, if you want to have a go, then absolutely fine. No, no, Paul, you'll hurt yourself. Don't do it. Yeah, believe me, you can't. But if you can, I'll be very impressed. Yeah, but don't. It's not a challenge. Not a challenge. Okay. Okay. So sitting, once again, lots of signals sitting. What about arms and hands? This is where we tend to recognize arms and hands. Okay. The defensive negative position. Show me the defensive negative position with your arms and hands. Very much, but okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, we all know that. Yeah, we all know that. Defensive negative position. Yeah. Once again, closing in on the body. It's so far away from that, isn't it? Which is open to ideas. Yeah, I'm open to what someone who's doing that. It's the opposite of that, isn't it? They're open. Yeah, this is great. Tell me more. I'm liking what I'm hearing. Yeah, whereas, don't think so. So the arms are doing this. Yeah. The protective hold as well. Nervous presenters holding on to themselves shows a bit of insecurity, like insecure twiddling. Sorry. Insecure twiddling as well. The dominant hold goes back to dominant display, legs apart, but look, hands locked behind. Yeah, tends to be a male thing. The alpha male, yeah, puffs my chest out. I'm important. I'm the one that matters here. So in a group, if you're presenting, people are standing like that, it means they are challenging and saying, no, I'm the important one here. You may be telling me and trying to persuade me to do this, but I'll make my own decisions. Thank you very much. Yeah. So the dominant hold. Insecure twiddling, like the protective hold. Yeah, for a presenter who's doing this all the time. Yeah, because you're nervous, insecure. It does come across, and people recognize insecurity, and that damages your credibility. Yeah, you've said you're highly qualified to explain this thing, and blah blah blah. You're doing this. It's really, are you that confident in yourself though? So insecure twiddling can do this. Just back to just on dominant hold. Yeah. Some executives will do this. Executive types. Yeah, remember the quadrants? Yeah. Because they tend to be power brokers, or consider themselves power brokers. So they will often do this. You probably won't find yourself doing that. Yeah. But if you do, tone it down. It's getting a little bit aggressive. Yeah. So insecure twiddling as well. This is quite useful. Non-threatening and accepting palms. Especially if you've given your presentation and you finish it. Are there any questions? You want to welcome questions because you've been open. Yeah. Questions. Well, the way you actually take questions it can be quite important as well. If someone puts their hand up or starts saying, yeah, I've got a question. Please. Yeah. It's an open palm. I welcome your interjection. I welcome your question. Yeah. As opposed to pointing like that. Yeah. Yeah, Tara, what's your question? Yeah. Yeah, Jeffrey, what's your question? Now that's a little bit intimidating, but gentle, open. Yeah, what's your question? As opposed to authoritative and dismissive palms. Yeah. Yeah, that means, yeah, I'll take your question because we're in polite society here and you have raised your hand. I will, but actually I don't welcome it. Yeah. And sometimes it can be, I've seen it before where, someone who knows is, if you're in an audience and you know some of the people, yeah, or friends with people, the people will go that to friends and that to people they don't know. Because friends, I kind of trust that their question's going to be nice. We're going to have a nice conversation about this and chat. You, I don't know you. Yeah, what's your question? And doing it subconsciously. I'm open to you. I'm not to you because I don't know who you are. And subliminally, we can take that in. I'm being, the questioner who gets pointed at like that, at some level, they can take in, oh, they don't like me. They don't like my intervention in this engagement. So be aware of that. But we also do a lot around the head. The head does its own thing, or certainly arms and hands with head give signals as well. Hands to head. It's like the three monkeys. Yeah. Hear no evil, smell no evil, see no evil. That's what I kind of say, is basically blocking off things with your hands. Yeah. Is one way that we can signal whether we're actually engaging with something or we just don't like it. So let's look at some examples here. Okay. So I'm just showing the examples here. Yeah. People start doing this, as Anna just did there.
Itchy nose.
Itchy nose, which is fine. We'll come back to that. Yeah. Or this. Rubbing of the ear. Don't know about that. Yeah. So those two there, which I just showed you, that, yeah, or sometimes that, yeah, they are indicators. They're indicators that either the receiver isn't liking what they're hearing. Yeah. I'm trying to block my ears. Basically, that's what it's saying. I'm trying to block my ears. Yeah. I don't like what I'm hearing. That's an indicator it's not working well. Also, it's also an indicator that the speaker doesn't like what they're saying. So if you are very uncomfortable with what you're saying, or if you lie, there is a tendency to start doing that more. Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, WFP, yeah, it's all under control, don't worry, yeah, everything's fine. Yeah. Really? So why are you doing that? Yeah. Subconsciously, we're not consciously asking ourselves these questions, but an indicator. Yeah. Also doubt. Yeah, really? Really, Margaret? Yeah, really? Yeah. Yeah, Calvin, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Doubt. Doing that. Okay. The Rodin, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, the Rodin. Yeah. Like the absent professor. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Oh, lost the Rodin. Yeah. Now, the absent-minded professor, the clever one who thinks about stuff. That's often that caricature, isn't it? Yeah, let me see. Let me think about that. That hasn't come out of the ether. That's because we tend to do that if we're thinking. Yeah. Both male and female will just tend to do that. Yeah, which means, okay, if they're thinking, that's a good thing. You want people to be thinking about what you're saying. Yeah. As opposed to expressing doubt. Or even worse, being bored. Yeah. If people start doing that, oh, I've got a bit of a problem. Yeah. And I said, Paul's looking a little bit like that. Paul's goes, yeah. Oh, okay, now Paul's engaged. He's down here, see? Yeah, so that's engaged. So yeah, those signals can give away a lot. But the big but is it's not a precise science. And there are three things that have to be considered. Yeah. It's clusters, congruency, and context. Yeah. Clusters being that normally the body will signal several things. And they, look for several signals, not just one. Yeah. And also to be effective, they have to be congruent, as they'd have to be saying the same thing. Yeah. If my body is closed in, yeah, and I'm doing that, my legs are locked and my face is doing this, I'm giving lots of things. My legs are locked in, I'm defensive, negative, and my face is just not looking very happy. There are several signals that indicate that I'm not liking what I'm hearing, that you're upsetting me. Yeah. So there's a cluster of signals and they're all saying the same thing. They are congruent. Yeah. Because I could be sitting there, you know, like this going, really? Yeah, yeah, interesting. Yeah, okay, well, you're smiling and you seem to be engaged with your face, but you've got your arms like that. Okay, well, maybe you just feel comfortable. Maybe they just feel comfortable sitting like that. So I've got signals which are not congruent. So it's not saying the same thing. It's not saying, oh, defensive, negative, just because they've got their arms like that. Yeah. And also it's got to be in context as well. Let's just imagine you were in a room and you're off you go on your speech and people are sitting there like that because the aircon's on too high. Because if it is, they want to do that because they're cold. Yeah. So sometimes the context can be driving people to give a certain body signal away. Okay. So it's more subtle than immediately, oh, arms like that, yeah, or bored, yeah. Because I could be just, a bit tired, but I'm actually fascinated with what you're saying. Yeah. But if I'm like that, I'll get bored. But if I'm like, and then occasionally just going, that's different signals. Yeah. So it is not a precise science, but sometimes it's absolutely obvious. Yeah. Competitive clamp. Yeah. Face looking a little bit angry. Oh yeah. Okay. As soon as I go to questions, this person's going to really have a go at me for what I'm trying to persuade them to do. Okay. What about eye contact as well? That's a signal. Yeah. We've already talked about camera. Yeah. The way that we need to actually maintain eye contact. Yeah. In a public fora, you want to just spread the love around. You want everyone to get a little bit of eye contact. Yeah. So sweep the crowd. Yeah. But don't lighthouse. Don't be going. Jem said I must actually engage the crowd with their eye. No. Just share the love around. Yeah. And don't focus on one person. Yeah. Because that freaks out that person in the room. Why are they staring at me? Because Jem said I must maintain eye contact. You just pick on one person to stare at. You've seen that happen in presentations. Yeah, and it feels really, really bad for the person who's, I don't know this person that keeps staring at me. Don't want to do it. Occasionally glance at your script, because you will have a script, but not as you know it. You will have notes. Yeah. So you won't be reading your notes, definitely not, but they're there as a comfort blanket, and we'll go through this after the break. You can glance at your notes and come back. You can break. Yeah. You can break from eye contact. Even in conversations one-to-one, if you're talking, imagine you're sitting with a friend, talking to a friend, you don't maintain eye contact all the time with that friend. You will break off. We need to take a little bit of a break. Yeah. So don't worry about, 52% is back the audience and spreading it around. Okay. And also don't stare into the eyes. Yeah. Just what's called the business gaze, around the eyes. You don't need to stare at people's eyes. Yeah, just around the eyes is absolutely fine. But eye contact is important. It is important. Okay. Are there any questions or comments before we start? We go for break, and we also then look at the voice and then go to script and structure. Everybody happy? Okay. In that case, let's have a cup of coffee. Let's go for 10 minutes. It's now 22, I believe. Should we come back at 10 to 12 Nairobi time? I have to keep converting it. 10 to 12 Nairobi time. Excellent. Okay. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Bye. Hello, everyone. You there? Hello, England calling Nairobi.
Hi, I'm here.
Excellent. Thank you, Monica. Who else is there? Is anybody else there? Hi, Jeffrey. So we're just waiting for Tara, Margaret, Paul, and Calvin to rejoin. So we'll be doing a little exercise in a few minutes' time. So I want you all to be here. Excellent. Calvin's back with us. Good. Jeffrey's with us. Monica's with us. Tara, Paul, Margaret, are you around?
I'm here as
Tara.
well.
Super. Excellent. Paul and Margaret, are you there? Have you been abducted by aliens or something like that? It happens, you know. Okay, well, in the interest of time, we'll press ahead anyway. No, I really do want Paul and Margaret to join because there's a little exercise. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the voice. The voice, okay. Quite a big part of presentations, really, if you aren't being verbal, because it's your main mechanism, isn't it? The voice. But how can we make the voice help us to engage the audience? So the audience is more engaged in your messaging, yeah, and your ideas, and you know, it can be part of the linguistic mechanisms and be part of the behavioral techniques that you're using. Voice. Okay. Well, there is one thing, one way you can think, a little mnemonic again, which you can think of in approaching the voice and the way you can actually use it. And that mnemonic is laser. Yeah, laser, L-A-S-E-R. And that indicates that actually with the voice, you can actually modulate and change the voice for effect through these mechanisms. One is loudness. Thinking of where should the volume of my voice be higher and sometimes not, sometimes quieter. You know, the good actor is the one that can get that really fine point across by whispering if need be. Yeah, so loudness is one way of changing your voice as required. The other one is articulation. Some words you will want to articulate more. Others don't need that. Yeah, you can just carry on. But some will need articulation. Yeah, stressing on exactly all the vowels and letters in the word. You know, speed as well. Sometimes you can talk much quicker than is normally required, but sometimes you may need to slow down. Yeah, changing speed, fast, slow, as required. Also emphasis. Some words you might want to emphasize, like this one and that one. So think about that. And to encapsulate all those, thinking about the range throughout which you can move loudness, articulation, speed, and emphasis. Yeah, giving a bit of range, not being monotone. Yeah. Now, unless you are theatrical or like a bit of amateur dramatics, most of us don't really use our voices to their maximum effect, really. But I think you should start trying to think about it now. To that end, we are going to actually put you through an exercise which is going to demand that you do use laser on your voice. Okay, so we're going to have a little exercise now. Little exercise. Here is a simple poem. It's called Let Evening Come. It's by Jan Kenyon. I have no idea who Jan Kenyon is, but it's a simple poem. I've chosen it because it is actually quite simple and everybody can kind of get it. Yeah, it's about the evening coming in the countryside. Yeah, it's a little story which everybody can relate to. What I'm going to get you to do is each of you to recite that poem. Okay? But, it's a little but, not that straightforward. I want you to do it, each stanza, each verse, in a different way. First one, neutral. Second one, angry, with anger in your voice. Third one, sadness in your voice. And the fourth one, with joy and happiness in your voice. Okay? I think you'd agree they are 4 different emotions, yeah, which you could inject into these words using laser: loudness, articulation, speed, emphasis, and range. Okay? So it's a simple task. You know, you may have done this back in school days, yeah, something like this, but I want you to do it now as an adult and thinking about how you might inject laser into your voice, yeah, and henceforth might inject that into presentations and public speaking. Okay, so simple task, recite that poem, all 4 stanzas, different styles. Can I have a volunteer? Don't all shout at once. Oh, Paul's my man. Paul's my man. He's coming forward. Brave Paul. Okay, Paul, let's hear your version of Let Evening Come with 3 emotions running through it. Please, over to you.
Do you say 3 emotions? There are 4 here.
Yeah, just 4. Sorry, 4. The neutral, just you know, neutral, and then 3 emotions. Over to you.
Okay, here we go. Let evening come. Let the light of late afternoon shine through chinks in the barn, moving up the bales as the sun moves down. Let the cricket take up chafing as a woman takes up her needles and her yarn. Let evening come. Let dew collect on the hoe abandoned in long grass. Let stars appear in the moon to disclose her silver horn. Let the fox go back to its sandy den. Let the wind die down. Let the shed go black inside. Let evening come. That's it.
Well, I think a round of applause. You know, the stage awaits you, Paul. The Royal Shakespeare Company shall be in touch. Very good. Very good. Yeah. 4 different modes of using your voice. Yeah, as very, very eloquently demonstrated by Paul. And if you notice also face changes when you start doing that as well. Yeah. In each of those, the face is very different. So, you know, the verbal is matching the non-verbal. Yeah, very effectively. Okay, Paul, well done. A very good example of using laser, different types of injection into your voice. Yeah, That's good. So, okay, so we've started with the bar quite high, unfortunately, for everybody. Okay. Who would like to go next? Oh, yeah, we're all a bit. Oh. I've got to go to the dentist now. Got my hair cut. Can't do this. Yeah. Okay,
There's a
come
little
on,
bit of
right.
defense,
Okay. Yeah.
some defensive body language there as well.
Yeah, come on, Monica. There you go. I'm going to volunteer you. I'm going to volunteer you to have a go.
I know I'm your favorite now, so it's okay.
Well, let's hear you give it a shot. Give us four legs to go.
No, I'm just kidding. Let evening come. Let the light of late afternoon shine through drinks in the barn, moving up the bales as the sun moves down. Let the cricket take up chaffing as a woman takes up her needles and her yarn. Let evening come. Let dew collect on the hoe abundant in long grass. Let the stars appear and the moon disclose her silver horn. Let the fox go back to his sandy tan. Let the wind die down. Let the shed go black inside. Let evening come.
Well done. Well done. Once again, yeah, a masterclass, slightly more subtle than Paul, who was very much, he's destined for the theatre. I think, Monica, you're more of a radio voice, possibly. Yeah, more subtle there. But yeah, definitely they came across that neutrality, the anger, sadness, and happy by just changing the way you use your voice. Yeah, very versatile. Yeah.
Gender balance.
Yeah. A gender balance. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think we have, both sides doing very, very well at the moment in terms of performance here. Yeah. So let's see if we can keep it up, that gender balance. Okay. Calvin. Come on, Calvin. You know you want to. You know you want to. Let's hear you give it a go.
Let me try. Let evening come. Let the light of late afternoon shine through chinks in the barn, moving up the bells as the sun moves down. Let the cricket take up chaffing as a woman takes up her needle and her yarn. Let evening come. Let dew collect on the hoe abundant in long grass. Let the stars appear and the moon disclose her silver horn. Let the fox go back to its sandy den. Let the wind die down. Let the shed go black inside. Let evening come.
well done. Well done. I think your face gave away more than the voice, though. And you were letting your face do a lot of the action. Yeah. It was there. I think you could turn it up. Yeah, you could turn it up a little bit. The range. Yeah, laser R is the range, and you could just open up the range a bit. Yeah, the difference between them was subtle, very subtle. Yeah, sometimes you might want to be a little bit more blunt with the audience. Yeah, in using your voice to make effect. Yeah. So, Margaret. Anna, yeah.
You'd be a fantastic late night radio host. That softness, the gentleness in your voice. The tone is great. So if you wanted another career, but you'd have to do nights, I think.
Yeah, it's late night radio, and now we have the Calvin Show.
Yeah.
Here he comes. Okay, Margaret. Come on, let's hear you give your all to this. Really go for it. Okay.
Let me give it a trial. Let the light of late afternoon shine through chinks in the barn, moving up the bales as the sun moves down. Let the cricket take up chaffing as woman takes up her needles and her yarn. Let evening come. Let dew collect on the hoe abandoned in long grass. Let the stars appear and the moon disclose her silver horn. Let the fox go back to its sandy den. Let the wind die down. Let the shed go back inside. Let evening come.
Yeah, nice, nice. Okay, yeah, there was a little bit more there. Yeah, you toned it up from Calvin's nice late night radio show. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, yeah. We're still not quite at Paul's level of theatricalness, but yeah, that subtlety. I think, you know, Monica and Margaret, nice and subtle with the voice. Yeah, okay. Then Calvin's like cool late night radio. But thank you very much, Margaret. Yeah, Jeffrey, what are you going to give us?
A theatrical masterpiece is what I'm going to give you.
Excellent. That's what I thought. Go on then. Let's go for it.
So, Let Evening Come by John Kenyon. Let the light of late afternoon shine through chinks in the barn, moving up the bills as the sun moves down. Let the cricket take up chafing as a woman takes up her needles and her yarn. Let evening come. Let dew collect on the hoe abandoned in long grass. Let the stars appear and the moon disclose her silver horn. Let the fox go back to its sandy den. Let the wind die down. Let the shed go black inside. Let evening come.
Well done, Jeffrey. Well done. A subtle theatrical appearance there. I think that's a sort of a Laurence Olivier approach, really, as opposed to a Kenneth Branagh modern interpretation, which Paul was playing with there. Nice and subtle. I think you were good at the angry one. The sad and the happy, it sort of didn't change much. It was a little bit the same, but yeah, definitely a subtle change. Okay, none of you so far have really done much with speed. Yeah, I know it's a poem and it's meant to be read out or something, but you know, it's just text. So don't worry about going with speed. Pause. Pause is very, very powerful. Yeah. That pause is very powerful. You can use that. Okay. Thank you very much, Jeffrey, for that. A subtle masterclass. But last but not least, no pressure here, Tara, no pressure. But you know, here we go. We're expecting great things of you. Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to forget me.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, give it a go.
All right. Let the light of late afternoon shine through chinks in the barn, moving up the bales as the sun moves down. Let the cricket take up chafing as a woman takes up her needles and her yarn. Let evening come. Let dew collect on hoe abandoned in long grass. Let the stars appear and the moon disclose her silver horn. Let the fox go back to its sandy den. Let the wind die down. Let the shed go black inside. Let evening come.
Well done. Well done. Again, the whole range, there was a lot of range there. There was a lot of range. Yeah. Once again, no one did much with speed. There was a little bit, no, actually, in fairness, Tara, you did speed up and slow down a little bit. Yeah. But all of you could have done a bit more with speed. All of the volume, absolutely fine. You all used volume and you could definitely get the difference between angry and sad. Yeah. Emphasis, yeah. There aren't many words to really emphasize there, so that maybe not, you know, you can get away with that. Articulation, yeah, some words you articulated more, but speed, no one really played with speed. Yeah. You know, from angry, let the cricket take up chafing, to sad, you know, let dew collect on the hoe, abandoned in the long grass. So yeah, you could have used a bit of speed. So I think all of you, probably through that exercise, I think you can all think about speed. Yeah, use speed. You don't need to just be rattling through your presentation. Yeah, you can stop. You can, I'd say, pause at the right point. Yeah, so use speed as well. I think that's one thing you all missed out. But I think, you know, some fantastic performances. What do you think, Anna? Mute.
Right, sorry, I thought I kicked it. Yeah, I mean, you guys were thrown into this. I think Jen was a little bit tough on you. I was expecting you to do this, but you know, you were starting to get it. And one of the ways that you can alternate your voice is the way you breathe, but also use your body as well. So when you're angry, you tense up, so you'll get louder and you'll be like this. When you're sad, you're all kind of scrunched up and you're going to go soft because you can't breathe so well, because your lungs are all kind of squashed. If you're happy, you're going to be out there and you're going to be, so that's a way of doing it. So when you're on your own, you can practice that. And a good way of doing it is if you've got a nursery rhyme, and I mean, practice with this poem. If there's a nursery rhyme, do it fast, slow, loud, quiet, sad, happy. I know, you know, or say the alphabet. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. So you can practice different ways of doing it, and you can do it with each other. Go happy, go sad. And this is a good poem to do that with as well. So that's just use your body to help with your breath. If you watch Superman and Clark Kent turning into Superman, he's Clark Kent and he's kind of a bit timid, and then he breathes in, gets some air into his lungs, and he's Superman. And that's the kind of thing that you can do when you're doing a presentation. Shoulders back, let your lungs take in lots of air, and you'll get that. You then got enough to play with to get the different emotions in your voice. So.
Absolutely, yeah, very, very valid point. You know, we talked about body language before, and now we're talking about voice, but as Anna said, you know, the body and the voice, very interconnected. Yeah, and the face, you know, the facial expressions you were giving as well. But yeah, the body, crouch down, the voice comes out one way, expansive, comes out another. Yeah.
You tried telling someone that you've won the lottery. You're really excited with a sad face. You can just quickly try it now. I've won the lottery. You can't say it with a happy voice, a happy face. I mean, you can't say it happy with your face frowning. Try it quickly now. Just say, you know, I won the lottery. I won the lottery. It won't work.
Yeah, doesn't work. Yeah. So voice, body, face, all comes together in the non-visual. Yeah. We will touch a little bit more on non-visual stuff. We're probably going to do it either at the end of this lesson or maybe tomorrow, depending on timing. But there is also the physiological aspects of giving a presentation, and also stagecraft, where you position yourself. That's also non-verbal. So, but we'll either touch on that at the end of this lesson, or maybe the next one, because what I want to do now is move away from NVC to script and structure. Yeah, because so far we've been talking about, apart from the NVC, we've been talking about messaging, you know, 3 themes, objectives, information, stories, examples. But now we're looking at, okay, how do I bring that all together into something I can use? Yeah, how do I structure it and then use a script, but not as we know the traditional script? How do I use it? Well, the way we recommend is 5s. Okay, Jem, but you said 3s. 3s are the big thing. Okay, well, hear me out. 5. There are 5 elements, yeah, to a presentation or a pitch or a speech, really, in the mechanism we're using. Those 5 things are the introduction, very important. Yeah, we judge people very, very quickly. Yeah, especially new presenters in front of us. So the introduction, very important. Then we have, themes. We're talking themes, Jem. Okay, theme 1, theme 2, and theme 3. Okay, now the 3s. And then we have the close. So that's why we have the 5, because we've got the three themes, but an intro and a close, both of which are very important and both of which are interconnected, as we'll see. Okay. So let's start with the introduction. As I said, it is really important that people make judgments very, very quickly. So how do we sort of break the ice, as some people would say, but actually this is more about starting the presentation well. Okay. Well, the first thing is that credibility thing. Remember we talked about Messenger, about mind space, Messenger. It's very important that people know that you are a worthy messenger. So unless you've already been introduced by someone else, well, and they've covered everything that you want them to cover, let people know who you are, yeah, and why you are qualified to talk on this subject, to persuade them to do something on your subject. Yeah, you're not just some random person. Oh, there's another WFP person coming to give us a presentation. Yeah, that, okay, so this person, yeah, they know this, they've done this, they've got an experience in this. Establish your credibility. Yeah, because no one else will. Until that point, you are just another person walking in the room. Yeah, slightly different if you're amongst your colleagues. It's slightly different, you know. But even with your colleagues, you could just say, look, you know, I've just spent the last 3 months on a course doing X, Y, and Z, and this is why I want to speak to you. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, but outside your colleagues, you've definitely got to establish your credibility, unless someone's introduced you already. Okay, so good. Okay, so now, okay, now I think this person's worthy of listening to. Okay, that's good. So as the audience is going, yeah, okay, I'll give them a bit of my time. Then you want to throw in the teaser. Okay, now a teaser it draws people in, because you know what it's like. Med presentations, you go and you sit in them and you think, yeah, same old thing, same different subject, same old approach. Yeah, teaser is what draws people in and says, okay, this is going to be subtly different. Yeah, and we talked about salience yesterday in mind space. Yeah, novelty. Yeah, well, this is different. This is makes the audience sit up. Yeah, so it's called a teaser. It teases them. The teaser also we'll come back to in the close. Yeah, but what is a teaser and what mechanisms can we use? Well, you can use humor. Yeah, a joke, a relevant joke to your subject. I've seen humor go very badly wrong when someone goes, here's a joke. Okay, what's the relevance of that? Yeah, I use a bit of humor right at the start of this course when I said there are 10 types of people in this world. Those that understand binary, those that don't. Some people thought it was great, others didn't get it. Yeah, but it was still relevant because I was talking about types of people in the world. Yeah, so there was a linkage. Humor, however, can be dangerous, because if it goes wrong, it's not a good start. So be very aware of cultural sensitivities and be absolutely sure that your joke is gonna work if you're going to use it, because you don't have to use humor. It could be a dramatic visual. Once again, relevant to your subject. You know, something that really is wow. Okay. Could be a controversial statement. Yeah, and alongside that, it could be a provocative question. Yeah, controversy, controversial statement. Once again, this is all relevant to your subject. Can't be divorced from your subject. It's got to be part of it. Yeah, a little bit of controversy or provocation. Yeah, makes me sit up as the audience. Oh, okay, bit of controversy, or you're asking me that? Wow, okay, so that's provocative. A quote. Yeah, as we talked about in linguistic mechanisms, if other people have already come up with really good stuff, yeah, use it. Yeah, use it. So a powerful quote, once again, relevant to your subject. Or a story. Yeah, not a long story. It can't be too long. Yeah, because otherwise it just cuts into everything else you're going to say. But you know, an illustrative story, which will serve the purposes of getting, you know, of your entire presentation. That's engaging. As I said, stories, we can't avoid being engaged with stories. So right from the start, you're drawing the audience in. You're teasing them with something. Yeah, with one of those. Okay, quite important, because you're setting the tone now. You've said I am worthy of listening to, and now with the teaser, you're setting the tone and drawing the audience in. Okay, this is different. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, wow, dramatic. Yeah, good joke. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. you're setting the tone and drawing them in, teasing them, okay? Very important. Also in the introduction, we're not quite finished, yeah? A statement of the aim and format. I think it's quite important, yeah? That you be bold with your objective. At the end of this, I want you to, yeah? Don't hide your agenda. I want you to say, okay, so I know what my role is as the member of the audience. I know what my role is in this event. I know where you want to take me. Yeah, you're not taking me yet. You know, you've got to take me by the hand, and I'm not sure that I'll go with you, but at least I know where you're trying to get me. Okay, so yeah, you're laying at that, and how long it will take. In the next 45 minutes, yeah. At the end of this 45 minutes, I want you to, okay, cool. So everything's out there, that the audience knows exactly what this is about, yeah? And state briefly your 3 vital points, your 3 themes. I'm going to talk to you about X, Y, and Z. Because I want you at the end of this to do this. It'll only take 20 minutes of your time. Okay, so cool. So I know, you know, you're making the audience comfortable in what is about to happen. Yeah, sounds quite dramatic, doesn't it? What you're going to put them through, what pain you're going to put them through. Yeah, but it's just laying everything out. Everything's out in the open. Okay. And then also, if you are doing visuals, you know, either a stage or even, you know, something like Zoom, if you do have visual slides, whatever, then maybe a, you know, simple text which actually gives you a title, presentation title. Okay, so that's your intro. Who am I? I'm worthy of listening to. Yeah, here's something to draw you in. Yeah, visual, story, drama. Yeah, quote. Provocative question, controversial statement. Wow, okay, that's interesting. Right, and this is what we're doing. Yeah, we're doing this because I want you to do this. It'll take this long. Yeah, and I'm going to talk to you about A, B, and C. Okay. There's an old adage in public speaking that all you've got to do is tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them, and then tell them what you've told them. It's a very old adage, but it works. And this is what you're doing. This is part of telling them what you're going to tell them. Yeah? Telling them what you're going to tell them. So then, let's now get into the main body. Yeah? Which is 3s. The 3 themes. It's as simple as that. And we've already worked on this because you've gone through your assignments. Yeah, theme 1, information, stories, and examples. Theme 2, information, stories, and examples. And theme 3, information, stories, and examples. So there we go. So, you know, the main body you've already worked on. That's what you're going to cover in the main body. It's as simple as that. Yeah. You've already said what the themes are in the intro. I'm going to talk about X, Y, and Z. Then you talk about X. Then you talk about Y. Then you talk about Z. So the middle bit isn't that difficult, really, because you've already been doing it. Then we move from the main body to the close. You want to finish on a flourish. Yeah. So we've told them what we're going to tell them. We've told them in the main body, 3 themes. Now we're into telling them what we have told them. Yeah. Summarize those 3 vital points, the 3 themes. Yeah. Go back over them. Just summarize, not going back into detail and repeating everything you've just said, but summary, literally a sentence, maybe 2. Yeah. Restate the aim, your objective. Yeah. I hope after this that you will do whatever it is. Yeah. And then something called circular storytelling. Yeah. Come full circle back to your teaser. Yeah. So that dramatic visual that you started with, you come back to it. Yeah, that provocative quote or provocative statement or question that you posed as a teaser, you come back to it. Yeah. So it's wrapping this up. It's the journey is coming to an end, and the audience know it, they feel it. Yeah. And they can see this journey coming to an end, this circular storytelling thing coming to the end. And then finally, of course, you finish with the out statement. That concludes this presentation. I'm happy to take questions. Something like that. Doesn't have to be verbatim that. So that's the structure. That's the structure. Be it a 5-minute, 8-minute presentation, be it a 45-minute presentation. So more than 45, you're asking quite a lot of the audience. Yeah. But in either cases, 5 bits: intro, the main body, which is broken into 3, theme 1, theme 2, theme 3, and the close. And the intro and the close are connected via the teaser. That's your structure. So, do I expect you just to know that and just go and do it? No, we need some sort of physical script. But we are not going to be reading anything verbatim at all, ever. Yeah, because, I mean, a number of times I've seen, quite high-level officials come and give a speech, and they read from, a script, the whole thing. And you think, why have you made me come here to listen to you speak when why don't you just print that document out and email it to me? I'm a busy person. I've got other stuff to do. Yeah, unless it's part of a dinner or part of a wider thing. But if you're just going to read something to me, I'm perfectly capable of reading myself. Why don't you just send it to me? So we're not going to be doing reading from a script. Huh? We're not going to be doing reading from a script. What we're going to do instead is we're going to have 5 one-sided pages of A6, A5 card, that sort of size. Not A4, just kind of that size. Yeah. In fact, that's actually that's A6, that's A4 folded. That's just we're going to have. Yeah. And on those 5 cards, you're going to have the introduction on 1, the 3 themes on 3 others, and the close. So each piece of paper represents one part of your structure. Yeah. You're going to boldly number those. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you drop them, you want to get them back in order pretty quickly. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Okay. If you have slide changes or you want to put something on a flip chart or whatever, on that piece of paper, you will indicate them at certain points. So, if you say introduction shouldn't be too difficult because you know yourself, but there might be certain things you think, I need the audience to know this about me. Yeah. So you might put down, I've got a degree in this subject. Yeah. I also worked in this country. Yeah. So you might put degree, country. Yeah. Because you may have worked in several countries, but actually that's the country that matters for this lot. Yeah. Just a reminder. I did 2 years in Uganda. You also did 2 years here, 2 years there, 2 years there. Does it matter to the audience? Maybe not. Uganda might matter. Okay. So even stuff like that, put it on your card. Yeah. Bullet points, not verbatim. Yeah. Because you're not going to read off the screen. Yeah. Any key phrases you want to use, they go on your cards for each part, the introduction, theme 1, theme 2, 3, and close. And any key information, numbers and facts. I think some of you are talking about the fact, sometimes you're giving a presentation and you forget a key fact. Yeah, which you know, but it's gone. You think, what's the percentage of, I know it, and you're there. Oh, and that's not good. But if it's on here, you can just go 57%. Yeah, so key numbers, key facts, put them on here. Yeah, put them on here. The reason you do put them on here, and the reason you have it on here, is actually, if you've done your work, you've prepared well, you will never need them. They will be in your hand, stay in your hand, and never be referred to. But they are your safety blanket. But when you have forgotten that key point, yeah, a key piece of information is part of your information stories and examples for theme 2. Yeah, you're in the middle of your presentation and you've lost your thread. You think, okay, I was going to tell this story, and it's about a village. Where was the village? What was it about? Yeah, village in north of Mogadishu, where there were 47 tons of so and so. You're back on track. Yeah, goes away. Then you've just got it in your hand. Yeah, it's your safety blanket. It's your insurance policy. Yeah. So 5 pieces of paper. That's all you need. Yeah. They are just bullet points with things like slide changes, key phrases, key information, numbers, and facts. That's all you need. Because you'll have prepared and practiced well. That's all you need. Are there any questions? Tara, please.
I have a question on the introduction, because I've seen like a lot of different examples where, someone sort of tells like their whole story. I started this, and then like how short, is it enough to just say what your current position is, or?
It depends. Okay. Yeah. Well, think about your credibility with the audience. Yeah. So the audience, what do the audience really need to know to make me credible with them? Yeah. So in your position, you're trying to persuade a load of logisticians. Yeah. What would give you credibility in their eyes? Yeah. Oh, the fact I went to the Sorbonne and I studied French literature back in, yeah. Okay. So what?
Right.
What's relevant to them?
Okay. Right.
Yeah. So if for example, logisticians, if you worked alongside logistics people on an operation, that would be relevant. Yeah. I spent 6 months working with the logistics team in so and so. Okay, that's relevant to me. Yeah. A different audience, they might go, so don't care. But something else might be relevant to them. So make it absolutely relevant to them. Your whole life story might be very interesting to you and your family and friends, but the fact you like strawberry ice cream doesn't really matter. So make it absolutely relevant to them. Okay.
Yeah. And is it the same thing for a training, or is it different?
Yeah, I think actually for training as well. Yeah, I think for training as well. Because you're the educator, you're meant to be in a position of knowledge and experience. So yeah, for training, I think it is worthwhile definitely saying why. So I've got faith in my instructor that what my instructor is going to be imparting to me is born of experience, knowledge, and skill. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Because on Friday, I would expect you to have done this. Yeah, to have actually gone through and written up your pieces of paper. Okay. Well, in that case, we're going to do a little exercise, because sometimes people just don't. They go, the teaser. What's it? I don't know. I'm not comfortable about doing a teaser. Well, I'm going to expect you to do a teaser. And don't worry, tomorrow when we have the one-to-ones, we can just play with these teasers. Yeah, yeah. But what I want you to do is decide a teaser for your fruity pitch. Yeah. So I am going to put you into your respective breakout rooms. And we don't spend a lot of time. We can spend just 5-10 minutes. That's all. It's not a long exercise. 5-10 minutes. And I want you each to come up with a teaser, which, you know, I'm a busy person. I'm doing this, whatever. How are you going to throw something at me, which is going to make me go, what? What? Really? Yeah, okay. That's what, you know, tell you more. What are you going to use to try and entice me to get your apple or your orange? Okay. So once again, I am going to break you into your breakout rooms. Anna and I will pop in to see what shenanigans you're getting up to.
Drive you mad.
Okay, you know, to get in your way, basically. Right, let me do this. So apples where? Jeffrey, Monica. I'm going to send you to room 1 first, Anna.
Mhm.
And then I shall join room 2 to start with. We'll just see if you can come up with a teaser. Okay, here we go. There you go. Jeffrey, you're still outside your room.
But it's say something controversial like, I don't think you will sell the orange, but say something like, did you know that one person died from eating an orange? But then you say that, you know, the other 500 billion survived or something. It might be too much.
I quite know.
But do we have facts?
No, we don't have facts, but I'm sure someone died.
So we lose our credibility.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, I quite like, you know, apples are heavy. If you get hit on the head by an apple, you know, I mean, surely there must be accidents involving apples, you know. And I like, the other 5 billion were fine, and actually they really love oranges or something. Yeah, you know, it's something sort of engaging, you know. I mean, the story of the apple is quite it's got to be quite a good story, you know, the sun and all that sort of jazz. That's quite good, dramatic visual, that, you know, oranges, stuff like that. You know, depending on if your audience is me and you know me well enough, you could you know, say, you know, how many cocktails, you know, contain orange? You know, you go boom, 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 boom. So you can't live without oranges. Let's face it. You know, you know, it's quirky. It pulls me in. You know, it's not just, hey, oranges are really healthy. You should really eat them, and they've got vitamin C. And yeah. There's something like that. Something that just draws me in. Yeah. Controversy and provocative statements, they're probably not applicable to selling oranges, really. But, you know, yeah, I quite like, you know, apples falling on Newton's head. You know, I mean, I don't know, is there something to play with there? You know, but oranges, you're doing the oranges. So what's orange?
I don't know, Calvin, you were saying something before, no? In the beginning.
No, no, no. I
Um,
haven't gotten
I
my
thought
my
you
A4s ready. I forgot my phones.
We
So what was
can.
it?
It's an
Story.
A5.
Don't need to do it now. We don't need to do it now.
How about we go this way? We tell the story of, before COVID, people didn't really give much thought to oranges. People just took oranges for the sake of it. But then when COVID came in and the hype all over, people are told that, you know what, your body has to fight this and your body needs lots of vitamin C. But guess what? Oranges has been packed with vitamin C for the longest time. So
Yeah, that I think that's possibly part of your argument anyway. That would be in your theme because you're talking about vitamin C and health anyway. So it's got to be a little bit more punchy than that, I think.
Yeah,
a little bit more. I think what you just
be...
said is great in your actual main body. But what do you? I'm busy. I'm wandering here. I'm going there, and you're going. Hey, what about an orange? Yeah, okay. Just draw me in. Just stop me in my tracks with something.
If we're using what Paul said, could we say like, why is orange the most, the fruit that's taken most for granted, or like just rephrasing it somehow? Would that be or not?
It's gotta draw me in. What's gonna draw me in?
Well, I can only think of that.
Apples, with you guys, it could be, apples kill. Yeah, because if a ton of apples lands on your head, you are dead. But oranges, on the other hand, it's that. If someone shouts at me, "Hey, you, apples kill," I'm gonna go, "What?" Ton of apples on your head, that's gonna kill you. But oranges, on the other hand, yeah, okay. That's what a teaser is. It just stops me in my tracks and goes, "What?" Yeah. Same old boring presentation. What? Okay.
Could it just be a fact, like,
it's got to be it's got to be a startling fact.
Startling.
Startling
fact. Just a fact itself is not going to really grab me. It's got to be startling. It's got to tease me. What? I want to interrogate that fact. Is that real? Really?
And we can say that, just tying it to my previous point, we can probably say that, did you know that oranges were the most sold fruit in the last 1 year since COVID-19 began? Is
that true?
You're going to interrogate it, but
yeah, you can't just make it up. Nice try, Paul, but no, you can't just make it up. There's some basis in it,
I guess in Kenya it probably is true, because when we were told that during COVID-19, when it broke out, we were told that, especially I know ginger did and lemons were sold a lot. But then,
yeah. Okay.
Yes, because people are told if you make this concoction, it will help you feel better. But you know what? Oranges are even better because oranges are packed with vitamin C, and people are buying vitamin C supplements. But then,
once again, what you're saying now is part of your pitch.
Yes.
Part of your pitch. That's more part of your pitch. It's not going to drag me in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why teasers are quite. You got to think about them. They've got to basically make me. Imagine I'm sitting in the audience. Yeah, and you come in and you say, "I'm so and so. I'm doing this," and my phone's pinging, and I'm just going. I want to be able to. You need to say something to me that makes me go. I'm distracted. Okay. I'm doing other stuff, and I need to go. What? Yeah. So yeah, okay, you can use this one. Like you say, hey, apples kill. What? You got me. You've drawn me away from this. What? Yeah. Or do you like your cocktails? What? I thought this was about fruit, and you're saying cocktails. Actually, I do. Yeah. Something like that. That's the teaser. Draw me in. Yeah. Distract me from the other things that are going on around me. Yeah. So little, you know, if you're teased, you can't. You have to respond to it. Someone teases you, you got to go. Huh? I'm going to leave you with that. Give you a few more minutes to have a little play around. Yeah. But you can use the apple kills if you want. See you in a minute.
I don't know. So, is there something dramatic and visual you could use? If it was me, I'd probably at the end of it go, that's why this is so good. Oh, sorry, I haven't got one for you. Too late. No. Or be controversial. You know, could do something like apples, but if you're going to do statistics or whatever, you know, why is an apple better than an orange or any other fruit? I can guarantee you, you will not be wanting for anything once you've had one of my apples. Or find a story about an apple.
Adam and Eve.
There's Adam and Eve. Trouble is, when you ate the apple, look what happened.
Yeah. That's not a good one, is it?
A healthy couple and the whole world.
But I mean, it could be something like tempted. You can give in to temptation on this one without the repercussion.
Yeah. I just talked to the other team, and I said, imagine you've got a load of people in front of you, and you know what people are like now, mobile phones, and you just started talking, and they're all sitting there. You've seen it before. They're all sitting there. Yeah. They're on the phone. You want to say something which makes them go, what? That's what you that's the tease. That's the teaser. Yeah, I'm there, busy. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. What? That's what you want. That's the effect you want with a teaser. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to drag you out of your rooms now, and we're going to see what comes up. Okay. So I'll see you in the. Hang on. I'll drag you out. You'll come out in about a minute.
Damn, you look
You're all
startled.
back.
Now we're back. Well, I think Calvin should go for it.
All right, we're all back. Okay, let me just do a little bit of messing around here. Okay, so what do we have? So, okay, so oranges. We had a little discussion, didn't we? So let's have a little chat about that. What was your teaser? What did you come up with in the end?
Calvin, that's your cue.
Is Calvin there? Yeah, Calvin, you're hiding. Okay, maybe Calvin's got technical problems. Come on, Paul or Tara, come on. What was your idea or our idea?
Okay.
Oh, Calvin's back now. Calvin, apparently you're meant to be briefing us on this. What was your teaser? What's going to make me sit up?
Sorry, someone just came by. Our teaser is this. Did you know oranges were served during the Last Supper?
Really? Okay.
No, but oranges have a number of health benefits. One, they're good for your heart, and two, they give you vitamin C.
Yeah,
that's our.
Okay. In fact, you don't even you don't even need to go into the health benefits because you're going to talk about them anyway. So yeah, I quite like that. Yeah. Did you know that oranges were served during the Last Supper? Really? Really? Can't remember that. No, they weren't. But anyway, let's really now talk about this. I'm going to be wanting you to buy my orange, yeah, because maybe you can have it for one of your suppers, even tonight. Blah, 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 blah. Off you go. Yeah. I'm going to say X, Y, and Z. Yeah. You take 10 minutes of your time. Yeah, but I want you to buy that orange at the end of it. Yeah. And then you go into thing 1, thing 2, thing 3. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you'd have made me, yeah, Last Supper. Yeah. Bearing in mind your audience, of course. Yeah. Christians would understand that. Others may not. Yeah. So got to be aware. That was a bit of humor you used, basically, wasn't it? Aware of cultural sensitivity. If you've got talking to a Muslim audience, Last Supper. Yeah, so be careful with that. Okay, that's not bad. What about the apples then? What did you come up with?
Okay, I can give it a try. We were halfway though with lots of ideas. Okay. Do you know how you and I came about? Would you like to contribute more to the world? Are you tempted?
Oh, the temptation of the apple. Okay. Yeah, like it. Yeah, okay, that's gonna make me think, what? You're eating an apple, right? Okay. Yeah, we're starting to get the idea. Absolutely. Yeah. Basically, that's what you're gonna do. You got to make me maybe turn away from my mobile phone and go, what? And both of those would have quirked my, pricked my interest. Yeah, pricked my interest. I still like the one I came up with regarding, oranges and apples, which I shared with the orange team. Which, if I was trying to sell oranges, I go, apples kill. Ton of them on your head, you're dead. Oranges, on the other hand, because the very statement, apples kill. What? Really? Yeah. You've got me. What are you talking about? Yeah. But that's just another example. So teaser, make me turn away from my mobile phone. Let me go. What? What is this? Yeah. Then you've got me. Yeah. Drawn me into your web. Okay. So that's the point of the teaser. So have a think of your own teasers, and then you return to them at the end. Yeah. You return to them at the end. Yeah. So with the Last Supper, did you know oranges? No. Well, at the end you say, okay. So they went to the end. They went to the Last Supper, but they could be part of yours. Yeah. So it's circular. Yeah. And with the temptation one, yeah, still tempted. So you should be. Buy an apple. Yeah. You've coming full circle. Okay. So with that, are there any questions or comments on what we've been through today? We've covered a lot of material today. Non-verbal communication, yeah, body language, and also visuals. And now we've done scripting and structure. So basically, we've got all the materials we need now to prepare and conduct a really good presentation, which is what you're going to be doing next. Because next lesson on Friday, same time, same place, people. Yeah, each of you are going to deliver maximum 8 minutes. Maximum 8 minutes. Yeah, I'd aim for 5 or 6. You'll probably go over, and then we will all critique each other's. Okay, because you're all, you know, you're all likely candidates to be in an audience. You're all WFP employees. Yeah, so that's what we do on Friday. Before then, what I want you to do is assignment 3A. Yeah, let me just, I might need to extend this one. Let's log back in. Just so we know. Yeah, assignment 3A, because assignment 3A is building the bones of your main body. Yeah, the 3 themes. Yeah, assignment 3A. We've had 1 submission. I'm not going to look at who that is, but you all need to do it. And it's for your own benefit. It's for your own benefit. Yeah, because without it, you can't really build your main body, your 3 main themes. Okay, so there you go. Based upon what we talked about yesterday and what we talked about today. Communication objective, you're actually happy with it. Messaging, have you changed your message based upon what we talked about? Yeah, supporting themes, some of you, they have changed. I know on one-to-ones they've changed. And then information stories and examples, that's where we need you to get to now. Yeah, what information stories can I use, and how can I use linguistic mechanisms and behavioral techniques to really give them power? Okay, so I need you to do that for the next session, certainly for the one-to-ones. Yeah, because we will be looking at those, the one-to-ones. In terms of the one-to-one mentoring sessions, let's just see if we've booked in people. If we've booked in, so let's get that up. That is tomorrow. Yeah, from 11 o'clock your time. Tara has booked in. Please, others, go on the booking and book in for tomorrow's session. Okay. And then, of course, on top of that, probably after tomorrow's session is your preparation for your presentation on Friday. Okay, because that's your presentation. We can't help you when you actually deliver that presentation. Yeah, and it's really down to you now to do the work in preparing it. Yeah, and as I've said to all of you, I think it's a safe space on Friday. Be creative. Be creative. Push the boundaries. Yeah, push the boundaries. Okay. So with that, that is the end of lesson 3. I will see you, Anna and I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, book in. We'll start honing your final work. And then I will see you all together on Friday morning. Everybody happy?
Yep.
Excellent. See you tomorrow, and then see you all together on Friday.
Thank you.
Bye now. Bye.
Have fun.
Okay, bye.
Bye, thank you.